Evening. I'm just doing one of those things where I talk to myself because I find that it's quite cathartic just talking and getting stuff out there. And I might put all these online one day, but probably won't because I keep deleting them. I've just been watching crazy TV or crazy YouTube clips, not TV. Keir Starmer in the Rose Garden in number 10 telling us that we're in for 10 years of pain because of this black hole that nobody knew about. Bullshit. They just didn't want to tell people what his plans were. Just madness. What's going to happen? I'm a small business owner, and when I hear governments and newspapers and all the rest of it spouting this, oh, we're in for 10 years of pain, we're in for massive price, the budget in October is going to be painful, but it's not our fault. I said this before they came in, didn't I? Anyone who's followed me on Instagram or whatever will know. I said this is what they would be saying. This guy's a fucking maniac. He's a control freak. Apparently, we've no prison places left. Okay. Fair enough. So the answer to that is release paedophiles, rapists, sex offenders, all these things, all these people. But we will guarantee a place for someone who has put a meme on a far right meme or something like that. It's absolute madness. And it's all smoke and mirrors to deflect, because there's uncomfortable issues that these people don't like talking about. And one of the uncomfortable issues is radical Islam. Now, whether you like it or not, this isn't nothing, it's not racist or anything like that, because Islam, if you didn't know, is a religion. It's not a colour. And you can be white, you can be, to be a Muslim, you don't have to be any particular colour. The fact of the matter is, since 2005 in this country, 2005, 2006, 95 people have died through Islamic terrorism. And many more been injured. In the same period of time, 3 people have died through right-wing terrorism. And I'm pretty sure a few more have been injured. So it is logical, you would think, that MI5 and our security forces focus most of their attention on the radical side of the argument that is killing most people. And it's the same worldwide, by the way. If you go on to there's a website called Since 9/11 that tells you all the terrorist attacks in the world. That's eye-opening. Go on there, it's eye-opening. And it lists them all, every single fucking one. Doesn't matter who's done it, it lists them and it goes through them. And look at the numbers on there. And that's just an independent website that lists terror attacks. And yet we are, or we seem to be in this country, obsessed with this far right element that we have now, because it's too uncomfortable to talk about the other side of it. And that was basically it. It's too uncomfortable to have a discussion about it. And it's just madness. So we are diverting. We've become I think our police force has become a force that is exceptionally good at picking out online stuff and finding online tweets or hate comments or whatever it is and dealing with that, but actually no good at dealing with actual crime. So if I get my mobile phone stolen, I've been in Manchester today, someone runs up to me, steals my mobile phone, I have no chance of getting that phone back. But I can ring the police up and they're really good at giving me a crime number and I can then claim it on my insurance. They're not going to investigate it, but they're going to do that, the analytical side of it, the not the actual physical detective work, but the admin is going to be great. It's going to be amazing. And it's mad. And it's because people, I don't know, just they don't want a conversation because I think probably they're afraid to get called a racist or they're afraid to get called this or that. I think it's quite acceptable to voice a concern about it. You know, but I grew up in the 70s and 80s when the IRA were the terrorist of choice, so to speak. And they were bombing people and killing people, and to voice a concern about the IRA or basically radical Catholics, nobody said you were Catholic phobic or anything like that. Because these guys were going round, and we know it's not all Catholics, just like it's not all Muslims. We knew it was only a small, tiny percentage, but we were worried about it, and we were allowed to be worried about it because they were killing people. But we're not allowed to be worried about another faction of society that's killing people. And yet we can be worried about an even smaller, tiny minority of people, supposedly on the far right. What is far right now? I genuinely don't know. When I grew up, far right ideology were Nazis. It wasn't somebody who said, I'm a bit worried about the amount of people who are coming into the country. That wasn't far right. That was common sense. Because the reason I'm worried about the amount of people coming into the country is because the country's already got a lot of people and we're not building any infrastructure because successive governments, as I've talked about before, have not built any infrastructure. And the reason that they then spout out all the shit about this right, that left, this, that, bum, is just to hoodwink people into not looking at the real problems and the fact that governments successively have done nothing except bring more and more people into the country and then not provided services for them. And it's a disgrace. You know, to be honest with you, there's a part of me that thinks it should be the guys who have come into this country should be saying, hold on a minute, you got zero and false pretenses. There's no fucking, we're having to wait hours for fucking... The same as someone who's lived here all their life. They're having to wait hours to get medical treatment. They were told it was fucking free. It's the same thing. And we're just people, and we're the little people, and they've got us fighting against each other when we should actually be fighting against them. And Starmer's today come out, and I can remember all the way through the last 14 years of the Tory government, Labour complaining about austerity. Oh, you've done this, you've done that. It's all austerity, and you're not spending enough, and all the rest of it. As soon as Labour got into power, oh, you're gonna have 10 years of pain. Fucking hell, we've just had 14 years of the Tories, so now we're gonna have 24 years. It is a political system that is beating normal people into submission, and we need to stop it. We need to tell them enough is enough. Go fuck yourself. There is no reason no reason for the energy prices to go up. Government can turn around to the Ofcom or whatever it is and just say, energy prices stay the same. The big companies are going to have to fucking swallow it. The prices of wholesale gas and electric haven't moved very little. And they're back around the levels they were, I believe, prior to them going through the fucking roof when the Ukraine war happened. Which again, fucking hell, let's have a war because the Americans love to sell weapons. There's no need for it. They can turn around and go, no, we're not having that. We're not having it. You're not doing it. You're not putting people's energy up. We've taken away the pensioners' winter fuel allowance. I can't believe the Labour Party have taken away that. Just get your head around that. The Labour Party have taken away the pensioners' winter fuel allowance to about 10 million people and means tested it. Brilliant. I think what would have been better for the Labour Party to do is say to pensioners who were eligible, do you want this money or don't you? Because if you don't, then we'll put it to another cause. If you do, great, you can have it. That would have been nice. That would have been a governmental thing to do. But they won't do it. Again, they can raise money. They've found, obviously, money for the train drivers and for the junior doctors. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think those people are paid enough. You know, I don't. So I'm glad they found them that money. But then to kick normal people, and you're still giving £15 billion a year to green projects, and we're still sending billions of pounds a year to countries for foreign aid. Why can't we just say, we're not doing that, just for 4 or 5 years? Really sorry to all these other countries. I mean, if a country really needs it, but India don't really need it, Pakistan don't really need it, all these countries that we're sending money to that don't really need it. Just say to them, listen, next 5 years, we're really struggling. We need to get back on track in the country. We're going to build social housing. We're going to mandate all councils to build X amount of social houses every year and only be allowed to rent them to people, you know, who need social housing at a sensible rate. We're going to implement apprentice schemes. We're going to pay people good money to take on apprentices in the building, electrical, plumbing, all the normal trades, all the trades that we used to be full of apprentices. We're going to pay them to take them on because then they can build the houses that we need. And the council will then look after those houses and they can employ the people when they come out of their apprentice schemes to work for the councils. And they can then build the houses and they can repair the houses and they can send them round when there's a problem. So we need money for that. You know, we've got to do that. And it will also give young people coming out of school who don't particularly want to go to university or don't particularly want to get A-levels, it will give them a pathway into work. You know, that seems sensible to me. Why don't we do that? And you know, I want to build now, and because we convinced everybody, my children of my kids' age group, that you went to university so you could be an amazing person, and now you don't want to trade. You're a builder. You don't want to be a builder. There's loads of builders. Yeah, well, there's no fucking builders anymore. And if you want one now, you're paying 90, 100 quid an hour just to get someone to put bricks down for you. It's madness. Councils have got rid of all their building staff, all their electrical staff, all these people that looked after council houses and stuff like that. So we should be encouraging all these firms to take on apprentices, subsidising them to take on apprentices, train them up, give them a trade, give them something they can work for. Then say to them, if you want a job at the end of it, you can come and work for your local council. you know, and then the local council wouldn't having to pay people, private firms, to build homes. They'd have a skilled workforce in 4, 5, 6 years to build their own homes. So they become even more cheap. They become even cheaper. You know, and so people would have somewhere to live. And so the amount of people coming into the country, you'd have somewhere to live. And that'd be great. And then you could say to the councils, well, with the money that you're saving in homes, why don't we start, let's build a new doctor's surgery. Let's build a new NHS dentist. You know, and start training more doctors, more nurses, giving junior doctors more money so that more people stay in the trade and stay in the UK rather than getting qualified and going abroad, which happens. My ex-wife came from Ireland to study nursing, and she got a bursary to do it, and she's benefited this country enormously. She's been brilliant. And I would say that 2,000 and odd quid or whatever it was at the time has been paid back 1,000 times in her taxes and all the other things that she's paid. But we don't seem to want just common sense, normal policies anymore. And I do find it difficult to get my head around, because it's simple stuff that they complicate by putting politics in the way. And I don't think we need to. I think we need as a nation and as normal people to say, no, we're not having this anymore. We're not having this bullshit. You're not doing that. You're not fucking spending 15 billion quid a year on projects that the private sector won't fund because they're too dodgy, and giving people with green projects. That's exactly the same as giving your mates some money to procure PPE that ended up not being very good. You're wasting my money. You're wasting the taxpayers' money. This is all the taxpayers' money. And it's being wasted on stupid things that in a blue sky scenario would be lovely. But we're not in a blue sky scenario. We've just been told we're not. We've been told there's a massive black hole in the finances. What do you do if, as a personal individual, you turn around and say you lose, you know, you've got savings of a couple of £1,000, or you thought you had savings of, you know, £3,000, £4,000, £5,000. You thought you had a little bit of a backdrop. And all of a sudden, say someone dupes you out of the money and you lose it or whatever, you've got a black hole. What do you do? I'll tell you what you do. You sit there, you open your laptop or your computer or whatever it is and go, right, what am I paying monthly for? Right, I pay £5 a month to the National Trust. Now that's fucking gone. I'm not doing that anymore. I need to save that money. I know it's only £5, but it's £5 right? I'm paying that, so that direct debit's gone. Gym membership, £30 a month. Fuck that. I'm not fucking going to the gym. And it's just logical things that you do. You know, you cut your cloth to suit your finances. If all of a sudden you wake up and what you thought you had isn't there, then you adjust it. You start turning the thermostat down. You don't have the heating on. You don't put the lights on. You don't have the fucking... You don't go out on a Saturday and a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. You go out on, right, well, we'll go out just, we'll have a couple of drinks one night away, you know. We'll stop having takeaways. And you adjust your finances. And it's to look after yourself and your family. And the government should be looking after its family. And its family is its people. Its family is the people that live in this country. And they should be saying, ooh, fucking hell, there's a massive hole here. Hold on a minute. You know, we're not going to spend this money. We're not going to send this money overseas. We need it. We need it to boost services here. We need it to help people here. You know, we're not going to spend money on projects which might work in 5 years, 20 years time or whatever. We're not doing that. You know, we're not going to throw good money away on frivolous things when and then asking people, the people, to live in, you know, in really tough times. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's a very, very strange world that we live in, and I think we need to wake up and understand that these people have no interest in the common man, and they take us for fools. They take us for absolute fools. They promise you something in the run-up to an election, and then as soon as they get in, go, oh, well, we didn't know about this. Of course they knew about it. The Office of Fiscal Studies knew about it. They're talking about, they say, oh, oh no, they didn't realise there was 2 billion. 2 billion in government terms is fuck all. It's fuck all. It's like me not realising I had £2 to buy a cup of coffee with in my jean pocket when, oh shit, I've got £2 in it. Oh, well, you know, I thought, look at how I thought, or, you know, go the other way around thinking, shit, I'm sure he had fucking £2 in here. Fuck it, I was wanting a coffee this morning. I was going to pay cash. Well, I'll pay on a card. Nonsense. We need to wake the fuck up and realise these people are lying to us. They're not going to do anything about it. They're just going to carry on lying to you. So we need to do something about it. We're the ones who can manifest change if we need to. And if you think that just being an individual means you can't do anything, means you can't affect anything, well, you're wrong. And I'm going to give you an example. When I went on holiday a few months ago, I went to the airport through the airport scanner and had to take my belt off and all the rest of it. And it's a long time since I've been abroad. And I went, oh, do I take my shoes off? And they went, no, not anymore. I went, oh right, when did you know? Ah, no, we don't do the shoe thing anymore. Okay. But because one man put a bomb in the sole of his shoes for about, I think it was about 12 to 13 years, everybody in the world who flew on a plane had to take their shoes off and have them scanned. Everybody. No exceptions. You did not go through airport without taking your shoes off because they were worried about your shoes. You had to put them in that little box and then you put them back on, didn't you? So one man can make a massive difference.